This year has been a breakthrough as far as Philippine basketball is concerned. Despite the crisis in the local basketball leagues due to the pandemic, the country has scored some victories in the international scene. We have beaten the South Koreans twice and played beyond expectations in Belgrade, Serbia. Aside from these victories, our players are suddenly in demand outside the country. What's with the sudden demand of our players? How does it affect our local basketball scene? And who will eventually benefit from this development? Hey, what's up guys? This is Chip of Game High, and in this video, we'll talk about the role reversal that has local hoopers playing overseas as imports, the attention our players have been getting from teams abroad, and the effect of this kind of player movement on the local leagues such as the PBA, UAAP, and the NCAA. Now, before we go on, please don't forget to subscribe to this channel and click that notify button. Give this a thumbs up and share away on social media. Basketball was not as popular in other countries as football, but its popularity has steadily been increasing due to the impact of players like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James. The internationalization of leagues such as the NBA and European leagues contributed to the current popularity of the sport. When NBA teams began recruiting players from other countries, the league increased its fan base. In China, for instance, the NBA enjoyed tremendous popularity when Yao Ming was drafted in 2002. The Chinese were so fond of Yao Ming that they voted him to the All-Star game even though he was injured. Ever since, the Chinese have become steady followers of the game. And with basketball increasing in popularity, basketball leagues throughout the world thrived. American imports who cannot play in the NBA due to stiff competition began playing in other countries. And soon, imports even from the NBA began arriving in Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. The popularity increased the demand for players. More leagues mean more teams, which would mean more players. Teams throughout the world began searching for the best talent available. Filipinos have a great passion for the tall man's game. Despite that, no Filipino has ever made it to the NBA. But the country has a thriving basketball scene, which ensures that it has a steady supply of basketball talent from the collegiate to the professional ranks. Though we have faltered in the international basketball scene for the longest time, individual talent has never been lacking. This is so even though the basketball program for the whole country sometimes leaves much to be desired. With basketball becoming popular, and with teams looking for talent, it is only logical that they will look for that country that has always been passionate about it, the Philippines. Early in the millennium, foreign teams were already on the lookout for Filipino talent, believe it or not. And with the ASEAN Basketball League, Filipinos have another place to showcase their basketball talent, this time not only for the Filipino audience, but for foreigners as well. ASEAN countries began recruiting Filipino talent to improve their lineup. Others hire Filipino coaches like former PBA coach Ariel Vanguardia to spearhead their basketball program. In short, Filipinos are already at the international basketball scene for quite some time. The problem is, the PBA is still the dominant league in the country. That Filipino hoop stars are already in demand abroad was rarely noticed by many fans except for a few. Big names chose to remain in the PBA, and top prospects have sights on the Pro League as their prime destination. Their dream, so to speak. That was the case until talent still unavailable for the PBA picking was snatched by foreign teams, and they began actively recruiting Filipino ballers to reinforce their lineups. Filipino ballers were already on the radar of Japanese teams ever since the Japan B-League relaxed its rules on foreign imports. Still, nothing happened until 30 Ravenna signed with San and Neo Phoenix last year. His team did not have success, but 30's experience was a stunning one. Reports about his salary trickled down in the press, and soon others began receiving offers. Eventually, 8 players including Kiefer Ravenna and Ray Ray Parks decided to go to Japan to try their luck. The development was so sudden it caught our basketball stakeholders by surprise. Talk 'N Text was shocked when Parks refused to sign, and the PBA was rocked when Kiefer signed with the Shiga Lake Stars. Collegiate powerhouse Ateneo, who had high hopes on Dwight Ramos, was caught holding an empty bag when their top prospect decided to forgo his UAAP career and join the Toyama Grouses. Wild rumors of players eventually leaving the country to play in Japan or elsewhere circulated almost daily on social media. Whether or not it's true, it indicates a state of heightened insecurity from some stakeholders teams, and leagues. Various factors may affect the decision of a player to leave the country and play elsewhere. For some, like Kai Sotto, the possibility of acquiring experience and sharpen his basketball skills may be enough of a motivation. That was also the reason for Dwight Ramos for going Ateneo and moving to Japan. These players believe they need to be in a very competitive league to be on top of their game. In the case of women ballers Gabby Bade and Jack Animam, they chose Europe, which already has numerous established professional leagues. Good pay is one of the primary motivations for most of them. Reports say that there is a big difference between salaries in the local league and those offered abroad, especially in the Japan B-League. 30 Ravenna already gets a salary far greater than max players in the PBA, while LeBron Lopez was offered six figures in dollars. You see, that is not something they can get in the PBA, am I right? Carving a different career does play a part. Ray Parks is already a superstar, but he thinks he has more to show. He wants to follow the footsteps of his dad, the late Bobby Parks, in becoming an import who can deliver big-time numbers overseas. Playing in the Japan B-League certainly gives him that opportunity. The effect was immediate. The UP Fighting Maroons lost the core of their team while NLEX has an open spot. There were persistent rumors that sooner or later, some players would end up in Japan. Meanwhile, the PBA acted rather swiftly and implemented some changes, among them raising the minimum and maximum salaries of rookies. Whether it could affect the decision of some prospects to go international remains to be seen. The PBA now has a challenger when it comes from being the preferred destination of rookies, and other leagues aside from the Japan B-League could attract half-blooded Filipino prospects. The PBA has to do something to remain an attractive destination for promising young players. For one, offering more money than what the Japan B-League and others do to entice the best talents to play or stay. But there's more to it than that. In the collegiate basketball scene, players only receive scholarship, board and lodging, and some allowances. Because of this, it is easier to attract their players, thus making collegiate teams susceptible to being rated. Kai Sotto decided to go overseas to pursue his dream, and Dwight Ramos thinks he will be better off playing in Japan instead of here. Let's face it, a chance of playing abroad could be a welcome development for most of our basketball players. We know the PBA has only 12 teams, and they are very strict in admitting rookies. Some top caliber prospects think they should earn more, and what the PBA offers is way less than what they could get in Japan, Australia, or in any other country with a thriving basketball scene. We mentioned that they did increase rookie salaries, but is it really enough? Maybe, maybe not. But there's also no increase in maximum salaries for non-rookies. The PBA should tweak further the salary structure. They should increase salaries as a response to what foreign leagues can offer. We're pretty sure that the players will benefit from this. Due to the age and educational requirements of the PBA, those who wanted to play to earn a living can skip college and go international. This may affect the collegiate leagues, for the players now have the option of playing professionally, even as the door in the PBA remains closed to them. We must bear in mind that our ballers are playing as imports overseas. They are subjected to quotas and other restrictions, much like the same in our home country. So the opportunities abroad will not lead to any mass exodus, as the local leagues here would still have players. After all, aren't we a basketball crazy nation? There's no need to panic here, really. But our players, especially the best and the top prospects, would now have other offers to entertain, and they certainly have that option. More opportunities are always better, and for us, we should be glad that our players do have other options aside from playing here. It could mean more exposure for the country, well, basketball-wise that is. At the same time, others who might be denied entry into the collegiate, amateur, or professional leagues may now have a chance, for teams need to fill positions vacated by those who have gone overseas. The ever-increasing popularity of basketball means more leagues, more teams, and more players. This would benefit local hoops fans as they can be entertained with foreign leagues where fellow Filipinos show what they're made of against worldly competition. So that wraps up another feature. Give us a like, share this video, comment below, and let your friends know by sharing this on social media. Also like us on Facebook and Instagram, and if you haven't yet, we have our podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until the next one, stay safe, and we'll see you around.